All right, and I've actually remembered to not mute my microphone today. So, welcome everyone to the fifth session of Tokyo Red. For those of you that might be tuning in for the very first time, Tokyo Red is a continuing Cyberpunk Red campaign set in Tokyo rather than in Night City. And yes, before you wonder, Cyberpunk Red is set in the same setting and universe as the anticipated Cyberpunk 2077 video game. More specifically, Red is set in 2050, so it's ahead of the old 2020 setting and obviously before 2077. We've already had four successful missions or sessions where we've covered stuff from the Jumpstart Kit as well as homebrew missions. But today's session will be something different from all of those. More specifically, this could be very well a campaign branching moment, which hopefully means we will have a good time today. Before we get to that, though, I do have to do just a little bit of shilling. As of August, streaming and Patreon have sort of become my primary source of income while I'm searching for a new job. That means whatever support you can provide, whether it's a follow, a sub, a patron, a donation, whatever, it's greatly appreciated. But just, remember, take care of yourself first. I'm not that important. With that little bit of shilling out of the way, we can get to the good stuff. We have a little bit of a tradition here, is that mainly we start each session with some form of current event monologue that ties into the overall session in some way. For Cyberpunk Red, that means reading off a scream sheet. Now, those who don't know what a scream sheet are, they're basically sort of slick, flimsy newspapers that are high-speed printed from data terminals on demand across the city. They are sort of part in-world news articles as well as adventure seeds. It'll make sense once you see one, so without any further ado, I will put us on the screen sheet map, and McCall, if you could take it away.
Mm-hmm. Japan today. Cyberpsycho running loose in Shibuya. For those of you that weren't near the Scramble Crossing today, consider yourselves lucky. A heavily cybered individual went on a rampage during lunch hour, killing 40 and injuring 67 more in the deadliest attack Tokyo has seen in decades. They then escaped to parts unknown by the time the Psych DIV showed up. They are considered to be extremely dangerous and should not be approached for any reason. Should you see them, get to a safe place immediately and contact the TMPD. It is unclear why this cyberpsycho was not registered. The head of Psych DIV, Chief Kaba Rio, had this to say: "The Tokyo Metropolitan Police keeps a very close watch on individuals that are known to install large amounts of cyberware. We believe this individual circumvented this process by acquiring their cyberware from multiple Ripper docs within a very short time span. Rest assured, we will be reviewing our procedures and modifying them so that such a tragedy can never occur again."
Alrighty. There's going to be a slight Roll20 blip, just so you know. So don't freak out if it reloads or does anything like that. Yep, just reloaded. Alright. So, as has been advertised, you all are currently sort of, well, let's put it this way. You are probably about 30 minutes before this event occurs. So, for the moment, it's just, a regular cold day in Shibuya. Not quite warm enough to break out or not quite cold enough to warrant breaking out the winter clothing. But it's definitely still pretty damn chilly, so your summer clothes aren't going to cut it either. Really, what you're looking at is a whole lot of nothing. After your last run, it was pretty much a smash and grab, and not a whole lot's been going on. There is one new thing, though, and that is that you have a new tenant moving in. And we're going to cut to the apartment screen, where all of you, save Stuxnet, unfortunately, is no longer in this campaign. All of you are sort of in your apartment when a knock will start at Akari's door from Shogun. Now, Shogun, to sort of give you a primer and give you an in, you've been given basically an address, a set of keys, and told to, make yourself at home. Your apartment is this one over here, the third from the left on the bottom row. but you haven't like met an actual landlord or anything yet. So this is you trying to figure out like, hey, who do I talk to, that sort of thing. So I'm gonna let you take it from here.
All right. So Shogun appears to be like a very lean man and is like late 30s. He has like a leather jacket with a kabato helmet with a katana crossing through it and a white undershirt and various tattoos of Japanese origin. Um, Very like kind of street clothes in the sense of like gangster kind of yakuza kind of symbols on him and iconography. At the door, he knocks very like properly, like very like 1, 2, 3, and he stands attentive at the door, awaiting a response.
Okay. Ikari will. The door will open just a smidgen for a woman in her mid-20s to give you a quick up and down. She does a quick scan. Are you armed?
He is not visibly armed.
Okay. Then she opens the door, and and she is definitely armed. And she will look you up and down and goes, "Right, you are not one of my scheduled appointments. So you're either here for some quick tech work, or you are here to rob me, or you are decided to move in with us. Which is it?"
The third, I'm not here to rob anybody. Apologies.
And my stance softens a little bit, and I quickly extend arm in greeting. I'm Ikari. Our landlord has vanished for a little while, but as he's asked me to take control of the money for the time being. Apparently, someone will come by, and I'm supposed to give it to them. And if I don't have the money, well, it's curtains for me.
So I nod and then I shake your hand as you tell that to Shogun. Then Shogun says that's fine, and I believe I'm that new resident.
All right, no skin off my back. If you need any tech work, first one's free, but after that, you owe me a favor.
I nod.
And then I just sort of stick my head out the hallway and just shout down the hall, "We got a new person! Don't shoot him!"
All of you would, of course, hear this in some way, shape, or form.
And at that point, I just go, "Well, got work to do. Pleasure meeting you." And
I
then
nod and bow.
I just sort of turn on my heel and head back in, slam the door, and within 10 seconds, you hear the sound of a power saw.
So Shogun kind of stands there perplexed at the power saw, and then says, whatever." And I look down the hall, facing like west of. And then he would just go to his apartment with the keys in his hands.
Alrighty. So, you head on over to your aforementioned apartment. You go to open the door when all of you in your separate rooms, a red light begins flashing. It's not the fire alarm though. Like you look up and it's not like blaring a siren that says get out of the place, etc., etc. It's just that all of you appear to have a red light that is flashing in your room. And even Shogun out in the hallway, there are red lights flashing in the hallway. And
Airbags will sort of
go ahead.
come out the door and look around, trying to figure out what's going on.
Well,
as will I.
I am immediately assuming we're being raided and do my best to hide any potentially illegal materials in my apartment.
Okay.
I will run inside my apartment and try to search for any equipment
Okay.
that might be illegal.
Well, the good news is that your apartment is pretty bare bones. I mean, there is some furniture. You've got a couch, a kitchen table, some chairs, a bed, but other than that, not a whole lot in your apartment.
All right.
And yeah, it's right about then. Let's see. So airbags, you're sort of out in the hallway. What's Xavier doing?
I would have peeked out as well.
Okay. And Enzo, you are staying in your room, picking out.
Enzo's curious about what it is, so he's grabbing his gun, positioning himself in the bathroom by the door, waiting for someone to forcibly enter his room just in case.
Okay. So, specifically for airbags and Xavier, you poke your head out, and the elevator doors ding, and out of it steps a familiar face. More specifically, it is Officer Lance, who you have had multiple run-ins with. For those who don't know what Officer Lance is like, she is a middle-aged beat cop, as it were. Sort of has shaved the entire side of her head where she's got some data jacks, and her hair is sort of in that combed-over fashion. She also has very vibrant, bright yellow cyber eyes. As soon as she walks into the hallway, she spots airbags and Xavier, and she says, "All right, hey, look, this isn't a raid, but I need to talk to all of you very quickly. Can we gather?"
We'll get everybody in the conference room.
All right.
Yeah, airbags will sort of look up and down the hallway at us, and then nod and go up to knock on Akari's door.
I'm going to open it slightly, just see that airbags is there and not full of holes and not surrounded by police officers. And is Officer Lance alone?
Yeah, she has only come by herself.
All right, I'll open it wide and go, "Officer, welcome to our abode. You haven't seen Chono by any chance, have you? He's kind of late on his rent."
As far as I know, he owns the place, so I don't think he owns that. Okay, that's not important. I don't mean to be rude, but it's really important that I talk to you all very quickly.
All right.
All right, let's hear it.
I'll knock on Enzo's door.
I'm merging
Enzo,
at that
now.
point.
All right. So you all very.
And someone get the new guy as well.
Oh yeah.
I'd be waiting by the door listening, and
Oh.
so
I'll just rap tap a couple times as I go past. You go, "It's okay.
all right, I
This
come
is-
out.
It's all right. Welcome to the perks of this place. You don't have to go out and find jobs. Jobs find you."
All right.
And then leader
Well, that's good.
escort her to the conference room.
All right. So we cut to the conference room, where you very quickly all take your positions seated around the table. For our new person, the conference room is more or less just a common space that has a big old hollow table in the middle of it. It could potentially seat up to 10 people, but 6 is usually the comfortable number. But what really matters is that once everyone is seated, except for Officer Lance, she sort of sighs and says, "All right, were any of you watching the news before I stepped in?"
I still
find
don't
it
have
too
cable at this place.
I was not.
I shake my head.
No, my agent is disconnected from most external media sources.
Well, we'll talk about that later, but more to the point, we've had a Cyberpsycho incident. More specifically, as of about 20 minutes ago, a Cyberpsycho went loose in the Shibuya Scrambled Crossing and slaughtered a good deal of people. Now, as this pertains to you, is the TMPD is scrambling every single resource we have to track down the Cyberpsycho before that body count goes up any further. And since you all once did a favor for me, I'm basically asking if you would be willing to do another one.
So this would be 2 you owe us.
It would be 2 yes, but I would be remiss in saying that if you did this and were successful for us, as in you found the Cyberpsycho before we did, there would be a, shall we say, substantial job offer made to you.
Yep. Airbags will sort of nod. Yep. Sweep our corner. Make sure he's not there. Best case scenario, land a score. Sounds good to me.
Right.
Sounds good to me.
So,
Shogun. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, so Shogun kind of look hesitant as he's listening. He's like, "Well, why should I risk my skin for you if you're not going to pay us? I know it's a favor, but maybe a little bit extra would help us out."
Oh, don't worry. You'll be paid one way or the other.
I raise a brow and say, "All right."
And at this, she takes out a cable, plugs it into the side of her head, then plugs it into the table. And 2 images appear. The first is of a Caucasian-looking female. Has rainbow-colored hair. Otherwise, pretty distinctive in dress. Looks like pretty much like an American of today's world, a quote-unquote weeaboo who went to Japan and tried to fit in based on what he knows of their culture, which is very little. Something like that. That is the first image. The second image is actually a live feed of a female that is dressed in a sort of a furred overcoat, and the hologram of her sort of looks around at the table and says, "All right, Lance, are these the people?" And Lance sort of nods and says, "Yes, Chief Rio, this is them." And Chief Rio sort of sighs, lights her cigarette, takes a drag, then pulls it away and says, "All right, I'm sure Lance has told you that we're scrambling everything we've got on this one. I'll reiterate it in case she hasn't. Basically, we've got a Cyberpsycho that's killed over 40 people. We want this Cyberpsycho dead. We have immediately ruled out the part where we would go and try to capture them for rehab. We've decided that it is not worth the manpower nor the resources to do that entirely. So, you have my personal blessing to take down this Cyberpsycho by any means possible, should you find them."
Well, I've already decided I've made up the wrong voice for Cabarillo in the scream sheet, but oh well, c'est la vie. I'm just going to look at the chief and say, "You can forego payment this time off for me anyways, Miss Rio. If I get one search to get, if I can use your personnel database to track one individual."
Well, we can certainly talk about that more once the job has been completed, but time is of the essence here. The quicker we get you out on the streets, the quicker we could potentially find someone that we're looking for. And she motions at the other hollow image. What we know is that her name is Ando Iwa, and I'll put that name tag on so you can see it. Ando Iwa is an expat from the Americas. We believe she was at least partially born, or her parents were at least partially Asian. We're not sure whether she was Japanese, Chinese, Korean. We just don't have a lot of details in general right now. All we know is that, as you can see, they are very distinctive in dress, and that they more or less went Cyberpsycho after probably acquiring a little bit too much cyberware for any sane being.
Airbags will sort of go, nod and go, "All right, well, unless there's any specific info you need, I'll go get the car set up for us."
Nope, I believe that's it, unless anyone has any questions. And both Lance and Rio look around to see if anybody has anything.
Where was she last spotted?
The last known sighting we have of her is via a security camera at the Scramble Crossing. She was headed to the north, but aside from that, she has not been spotted on any other closed-circuit television, so we have no idea where she is. We're hoping she's still in Shibuya, but if she's not, then we have a bigger problem on our hand.
Is there any specific weaponry or cybernetics that we could pose a danger to us if we interact with them?
Yes, more specifically, she has a set of blades implanted into her arms. Out of character, if you've seen any of the Cyberpunk 2070 art where, you know, like the forearm comes up and the blade sort of sticks out on an articulating arm, she's got those. Rio continues and says she's also carrying around a shotgun, but really the main issue are those blades, because she is augmented. Those blades do a heavy amount of damage very quickly.
So, mental note, not close combat.
I would not recommend it, no.
Yeah.
Right, well, you have your mission. Officer Lance, get out on the street, and if any of you find this Cyberpsycho, let us know, and we'll come and try to provide some backup. But I will reiterate again that our primary concern is neutralizing the target as fast as possible. And at that, Rio's hollow image, as well as the Cyberpsycho's, disappears, and Officer Lance disconnects herself and says, "Right, you have your mission. If you need me, you believe you have my number."
I'm assuming that we have full permission for open carry.
Yes. In fact, I have these, and she pulls out from her pocket several sort of badges, and she hands them out to each of you. And if you look at them, they're sort of like the equivalent of like a Wild Wild West sheriff or deputized. But if anyone were to see you with this badge, it is a known thing that you are working for the TMPD, kind of a thing. But they are temporary, like they're not permanent.
They're like day passes.
Basically, yeah.
Oh, look, I've been deputized. Just like the tunes of old.
I always dislike being handed anything with a built-in expiry date.
I'll just be thankful it's not a surgically implanted expiry date. Those are the worst.
Yes, I've had those. They're not fun.
Well, I'll take the badge and tuck it away in my pocket. And right, I'll get my gear ready. I'll see you out in the van.
So we cut to a little bit of a theater of a mind for a moment. So the five of you have piled into Airbags' car at this point, and my question is, where would you like to begin your search? There is no right or wrong answer, and I can throw a map of Shibuya up if you would prefer, but just a general direction or a general locale would work just fine for these purposes.
Well, I think Airbags is going to work on the assumption that she's deliberately avoiding areas with cameras, and think, okay, where do the Purple Tigers go when they're like doing their street racing at 2 a.m. and sort of start there.
All right, I'd like you to roll me a local expert, please.
Once I find it on the sheet.
Again, we are using the brand new sheets for Cyberpunk Red that has come out. As you can see, they are very sleek and nice looking. All right, and 11.
That is an 11.
So, Airbags, you're thinking to yourself, and you know a general stretch of road on the west side of Shibuya that is heavily used for street races that doesn't really have a whole lot of camera work, but it's just a vague sort of recollection. Like, you can't really remember any specifics about the area.
Yeah. So he'll sort of float that as a place to start to the group.
I don't suppose there's any obvious patterns to the killings. The cops probably eliminated
Well, I
that.
think so far there's only been one sort of concentrated burst, and then she's gone to ground.
Yep, that is correct.
So Shogun would speak up and say, what if she goes to another location, has a bunch of people, and then does another burst? Like, do you think she's going to another concentrated area after she lies low for a while?
That was you.
I mean, hard to say. I mean, with the psychos, like, you never know which way it's going to go. One might be planned and articulate. The other might just, like, they just pop like a cork and then they just wander aimlessly until someone stops them.
I nod.
I must admit to having a little bit of sympathy for people in this plight. Having fought that particular psychosis myself, having replaced quite a few body parts, it is a terrible burden.
All right. Let's see. Let's have Shogun, since it was your idea. Why don't we have you roll the local expert?
Okay. Let me find it real. There it is.
Wow.
20. This time of day, you come up with several possibilities, but one really sticks out to you. There is a club on the west side of town in that same sort of stretch that Airbags thought of. It is known as the Silver Fish Bar. It's a recent club that has sort of sprung up in the past couple decades. But more to the point is that it is the quote-unquote hippest bar in Shibuya, which means it gets a lot of foot traffic. And if the Cyberpsycho was going for sheer number of people, that would probably be a good place to start.
So I would mention there's this Silverfish nightclub or Silver something nightclub, and a lot of people go there. It's pretty hip. Maybe we could go there after we check some other place.
How well known is it? Because this person is not local. They wouldn't be going to the
Oh, it's very
secret
hip.
hidden places. Yeah, we should
I put
almost
it this way: I've heard of it.
should almost be focusing on the places that an outsider would know of and be considered, trendy.
I think it's a trendy bar. Shogun says.
Because it's some places that are outside the cameras and the blind spots. That's insider knowledge that would be particularly hard for someone new to the city to be aware of.
Yeah, that is a good point. Well, let's start there and circle outwards.
All right.
So hitting like tourist places might almost be a good spot where it would see the sights, as it were.
So like zigzag between the tourist spots on the way to the Silverfish, or
You're the driver. I'm just voicing out loud.
all right. Bags will do that then. He'll sort of swing by a couple of the main attractions of Shibuya on the way to the Silverfish Club.
All right. Roll me a driving, please.
It's on here somewhere.
Under control skills.
Oh
Alright.
no.
Well, as we can see the sheet in action. So that is going to be a 14. Well, with a 14, it takes a little bit to get through traffic. Even with the scramble crossing shut down and traffic being routed around it, traffic this time of day in Tokyo is always, pretty bad. But what that means for you all is that by the time you arrive, obviously checking along the way, tourist spots, etc., etc., by the time you arrive at the Silverfish Bar and nightclub, it is getting to be towards the sunset hours. And as you sort of pull out up front, you see that strangely there is not a line into the Silverfish Bar. In fact, as I put you all on this map, and I will adjust it for the stream, when you pull up, the first thing that you notice is that the main entrance... Oh, Stux is not here. I'll get rid of them. The main entrance is wide open. The double doors are just wide open, and there is a trail of blood that leads into the main entrance. And you guys are all up front at the moment. There's a big neon sign right in front of you that sort of advertises the Silverfish Bar. But you're not seeing any corpses, any injured people, or really hearing anything to the contrary.
Dear. And Airbags will sort of reach over and fish out the heavy pistol from underneath the seat.
Okay.
I'm pulling out my shotgun.
Pull out
Same.
my heavy pistol.
Enzo's remaining unarmed for the moment because he's, hoping to draw them out.
Mm-hmm.
Do we see the blood on the floor like as on the map?
Yep, you definitely see where the blood is.
I walk over and run my finger on it and then kind of touch it to my face where I can feel the temperature. Is it cold?
It is very warm, which means it's very fresh.
All right. Stick together. Keep stealthy.
All right. So, if you would like to all sort of stealth in, I am going to need to see a stealth from all of you. And if you have cultural familiarity, the sheet should automatically calculate that. So don't worry about, did you see a ninja movie once? Does that count? Like, the sheet automatically handles that. All right, so let's see. A 17, a 16, an 11, a 14... and 24. Very nice. All right, so what I would say is let's figure out a marching order here. So let's say, Enzo, you're up front. Where are the rest of you?
Airbags will go next.
Okay.
I'm just going to look at everyone else and go, I guess, shrug my shoulders and take third.
Okay.
Xavier, I'll watch our backs.
Sounds good.
All right. So as I move you up, you get into the first sort of room, and you see that a blood trail continues down the stairway onto the main dance floor, and that there is what looks to be a literal severed arm on the receptionist's desk right in front of you, and there's just blood spilled across the chair, the desk, etc.
Or completely organic arm, or is there any cyber organic stuff?
Completely
on it?
organic.
Right, I motion for everyone to stay back as I kind of sneak forward a bit to investigate the scene.
Okay, so go ahead and move yourself, and I will describe what you're seeing. All right, so now that you're able to peek around the corner, you are seeing that this is a sort of bar/nightclub, as was aforementioned. But more specifically, the booths, the few chairs that you're seeing around the main central bar, all of them are splattered in blood. And what's probably sticking out, not just because she is an esoteric person, but you do see someone who looks very similar to Ando Iwa. And they are sort of sipping what could be a scotch or some other amber liquid at the bar as a very nervous bartender sort of waits upon her. Like, it's obvious that the bartender does not want to be there, but that this individual, is keeping him there against his will. It does not seem that the Cyberpsycho has noticed you yet, though. So you've got the element of surprise for the moment.
All right, I'm gonna take the initiative and play bold. Kind of slouch over, act like I'm drunk, start singing a drinking song, and just kind of meander towards the bar as if I'm completely oblivious.
Okay.
Alright, airbags will sort of follow behind and sort of sidle up to the door, but like stay out of sight.
Okay.
Show me the way to go home. Tired and the water.
Is there a back entrance?
There is a back entrance. Would you like to go around the building to try and find it?
I will rush, like not be too. I'll be a bit faster and try and get to the back entrance.
Okay. Give me one moment to move your token up there.
Seeing his lead, I'm going to do the same thing.
All right. So you guys are up there now, and I will zoom out for the stream so they can see what's going on here. All right. So that is the full map at the moment. As you can see, you all do find, or at least Xavier and Shogun, you do find that there is a back entrance to the place. It is currently locked if you were to try the door, but hey, you've got tools to handle a locked door. But more specifically, Enzo, as you stumble up to the bar in your charade, Ando Iwa sort of looks over at you and says, "Oh, look, someone new for me to kill. That's great, because you also have a lot of shiny parts on you. I could use those." And Enzo, before you reply, let's say you sneak a glance over to the west of the map, so over here. You're seeing several basically couples, individuals, maybe about 10 people in all, that are sort of huddled underneath their tables and look like they are tied up in some way, shape, or form. Almost as if they are sort of hostages, if you will.
Okay, so try to keep the suppressing wildfire down to a minimum.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna mime no reaction to the thought of the killing and just kind of, act surprised when I see them there. Be like, "Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Can I buy you a drink? What are you having?"
Oh, I think I'm having you, honey. And it is at this point...
I think...
We are going to go into initiative order. All right, so if everyone could please roll me initiative, there should be a button for that as well. And it does look like you have to manually add it, so as you get your initiative, just add it to your turn order.
I go first. Wow. Okay, I'm way up there.
All right, let's see what she gets. She gets a 15.
Oh, I rolled reputation, not initiative. That's a shame.
Yeah, I'm looking for initiative. Oh, there's initiative. I'm blind. Oh, for crying out loud.
Oh, there it is. Let's roll that. Oh, I liked my first roll better.
Yeah, I was going to say, complete polar opposite.
Sadness and woe.
All right, so we're also going to try something a little bit new with this combat, in that we're going to roll initiative every single turn. That way you're not like trapped at the bottom forever, but it does sort of represent the flow, the ebb and flow of combat. But to start, it does seem that Enzo, you are up first. What would you like to do?
Activate my armor.
Okay.
And do I want to fire first? Yeah. Yeah, I think the pistol comes out and I take a shot.
Alrighty, so go ahead and roll your attack, and let me know what you get.
Doesn't have my pistol. Oh, guess it's the assault rifle. Oh,
Ooh, a 12 overall, and because she has a significantly high enough ability to do this, she is going to actually roll evasion rather than it being a static DC. So you sort of engage your assault rifle briefcase, bring it up and attempt to fire at her, and what happens is she just nimbly ducks out of the way of your bullets, and they pass right by her with no sort of adverse effect to her.
3-round burst, and I sit there and wait to be ripped apart.
Mm-hmm. All right. So it's going to be her turn, and sure enough, she is going to indeed rush up to you, and as she does, the portion of her arms opens up, and the wicked blades come out, and she immediately tries to slash at you. Now, I think this is the first time we've dealt with a melee sort of thing. So the way this works is it's going to be, since you're the defender, you're going to be rolling me a evasion skill, and she will be rolling her melee weapon.
All right.
All right, well, that's a very good roll. Let's see what her attack is. Unfortunately, that is a 22. So the first blade comes across, swipes across you, dealing 15 damage. Remember to account for your armor.
Which I believe is 15, so...
All right, so strikes your armor, ablates it, so your armor goes down a point, and then she attacks with the other blade from the other side. So the number to beat is a 20.
Ooh, no.
All right, so again, she hits you and does 11 more damage. And remember to ablate the armor for that one as well. And as she slashes at you, she says, "Ha, I see you have just as much armor as I do. This'll be fun." Airbags, you see and hear all of this. What would you like to do?
Let's see, because she's right up in Enzo's grill at the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I think I'm going to risk it. I'm going to line up a shot and try and shoot her from here.
Okay. Are you going for just a regular shot or a headshot?
Let's go for a regular shot.
Regular shot.
Mainly just concentrating on hitting her instead of Enzo.
Okay. If you will put on a dark or obscured modifier, please. Excuse me.
I've done so. That is now highlighted.
Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, go ahead and roll me your attack. A 16.
That's a 16.
Let's see if she evades. She does. So you fire off a shot, and she gracefully dodges out of the way of it. Luckily, you do not hit Enzo, but you unfortunately do not hit the Cyberpsycho. Now, would you like to move at all, or would you like to stay where you are?
Now, I would actually like to try and pull her attention away, so I think Airbags will actually sort of, like, look over his shoulder at Hikari, sort of give a stay down motion, and then dash out and sort of, let's say he rushes over to there.
Okay. All right.
Tries and gets behind the table.
All right, we go to Shogun at the back entrance. You have now heard the sound of what sounds like assault rifle and a heavy pistol going off inside the club.
Alright, so Shogun would look at the door and see what kind of door it is. Like, is it metal, wooden?
It appears to be a wooden door.
Upon hearing the gunshots, and as I'm walking up there, I just try kicking down the door and try rushing in with my pistol.
All right, let's have this be an athletics.
Alright.
A 16 is more than enough. You kick open the door, and it spirals into the office beyond, and you see a entrance to the actual club. So this is like a back sort of office or waiting room, but you do see that you have at least gotten your way into the back of the bar, which I will adjust for the stream in a moment. There we go.
Alright. Is it locked?
No, the door is wide open.
Alright, I'm gonna go through the door
Okay.
with my pistol drawn.
All right, remember to keep track of your move.
Alright, my move, let me check my move real quick. It is... Okay, yeah, so I have like 5 movement.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, that's all I'm gonna do this turn.
All right, Xavier, your buddy has kicked down the door and run in. What are you doing?
I'm also going to move in
Okay.
with my shotgun drawn.
All right.
3, 4. That's 5.
All right. And Akari, down here to the south, what are you doing?
I'm going to be doing something sensible.
Mhm.
Picking up my agent. I am calling 911 or Lance's agent ID, and say Cyberpsycho spotted at this bar. There are hostages. She is engaging.
Okay. So you get off the call to Lance, and Lance says, "All right, we'll send a squad over immediately. Just keep her contained there. Just do your best to stay alive."
I do a quick look at Enzo and going, well, 4 out of 5 ain't bad. And then I'm just going to take a couple steps forward just so I can get a better view of the thing and stay behind the wall. And that'll be my turn.
All right. So as a fresh round of combat, if everyone could re-roll your initiative for me, please.
Well, this
you're just gonna keep that 3. Is what
this
that
macro
is.
hates me.
All right.
I know I've got it over here somewhere.
Oh wow, she's doing real well.
The combat drugs have kicked in.
Let's see. So you're at 11. Did Xavier roll? Yes, Xavier got a 10. Alrighty. So we sort by descending. Enzo, how would you feel about another 2 slashes to your torso?
I would just like that, since that hurt a lot the first time.
Well, unfortunately, it's coming for you. So I need you to roll me your evasion twice, please. Ooh. A 30. No, I can do math. Yeah, so a 31 and a 17. So the first attack misses you. You dodge nimbly out of the way. The second attack will hit you, unfortunately. So as the blade swipes across your chest, it seems to be as if she's aiming for the same spot in the armor, as if she's trying to wear it down as fast as possible, and does 14 damage, which I think starts bleeding through to your actual HP at this point.
Well, it's I looked it up. It's damage dealt by melee weapons ignores half the defender's armor.
Oh,
So
good
I'm
call.
taking hits anyway. So that my armor goes down to 12, but still 7 of that's going to go through anyway. Reading that.
Interesting. Out of curiosity, where are you seeing the melee thing? Like, I believe you. I'm just curious for my purposes where you saw
Page 40 under melee weapon. Melee weapons. Damage dealt by melee weapon.
Oh.
Ignores half the defender's armor. Round up.
that. There it is. All right. So, yes, that is what happens. Enzo, it is now your turn.
Yeah. Just had to adjust my hit points. I am hurting pretty bad. All right. Let's see, where's the burst?
Unfortunately, there is no way to do a 3-round burst. You have to roll that manually.
Yeah.
But if you just roll like a marksmanship, we can just work off that roll.
Is there any rules for firing in melee? Am I taking
As
a
far as
penalty
I'm aware, no. There is no penalty for that.
Yeah, so there was a assault rifles 3-round burst. Yeah. Pull up the gun and pop, pop, pop.
Okay. A 20. I think it's just the one roll you do. But with that many successes, you got it. And I'm going to say she does not dodge this one in the sake of fairness. So let's see. For your 3-round burst, let's see. Actually, no, I do need to roll her evasion because that could change how many bullets hit her.
Correct.
Yeah, so you still hit her with all 3 bullets, if I read that correctly. Which means that they deal the weapon's damage individually and are reduced by damage individually, but it only ablates once per burst. Okay, so go ahead and roll me 3 damage rolls for your assault rifle. A 16, a 24, and a 15. All right, so I can math today, so that's this much damage, this much damage, and this much damage. So you bring up your assault rifle and pump a 3-round burst into her chest, and she takes a staggering, she staggers back a step and is unable to really catch herself in time to sort of deal with the point-blank shot. And you can tell immediately that you have done a good amount of damage to her, but not nearly enough to actually start, wounding her, if that makes any sense. In fact, as you look where the bullet holes have hit, or where the bullets have hit, not the holes, there are no holes because they are literally sort of scattered across the body as if the bullets shattered on impact. So she's probably got some skin weave going on.
I'm going to actually stand on the bar here then after that to keep airbags a little bit clearer shot.
Alrighty. Airbags, it is your turn.
And seeing that she's got the built-in armor, I will attempt a headshot and hope that's less armored.
Okay, so go ahead and take the headshot modifier for me.
Yep. And then attack. That's a 10.
A 10. She is going to, of course, attempt to evade. Ooh, that was real close. So she does evade, unfortunately, but you notice that maybe her movements have slowed just a little bit. And would you like to do anything else?
No, I think he'll stay put and just get in position for next round.
Roger that. Xavier, what are you doing?
I am moving up in the back room towards the entrance.
Okay. Remember, you can double move if you so wish.
Yeah, let's do that. How does that work? So 1.
We'll
Oops.
say for sake of argument, that door is removed.
Okay. So that was 1 movement, then 1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay.
5. Put myself in there.
Yep. All right, so you rush in, Xavier. Shogun, I'm imagining you're doing the same.
Definitely. So that's like what, 10 movement?
If your movement is 5, yes, you can double move up to 10.
All right, I'm gonna run in, kind of go at a good angle on her.
Okay. Alrighty.
And one more move. That was only 5 movement. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
There we go.
All right. And then Akari, what are you doing?
I'm going to step in so I get a decent shot. I am going to shout, "Hey, Technobusu! Kutabare!" Which is not stream appropriate if translated into English. And I am just going to unload my shotgun at her.
Alrighty, go for it. 16. Let's see if she evades. She does, unfortunately.
Oh, well.
Alright, well, top of the initiative. That means we get to roll initiative all over again. Oh, wow, Shogun
26.
really wants to go. That's
Shogun double 10.
That's just impressive. Alright, so that's a 26 for Shogun. Xavier has a 15. Airbags looks like you have a 14. And then what did Kari roll? A 13.
I got 13.
Excellent. Sort by descending. Well, Shogun with a 26. I think
So
you're
as
going
I-
first.
Yeah. So as I run in, I have the pistol drawn and I step right there.
Mhm.
I aim for her head with the heavy pistol.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna try blasting her, I guess.
All right, so make sure to check the headshot modifier.
Thank you. Okay, yeah. Just trying to see where it was. And then. Oh, 17.
All right,
Wow.
well, let's see if she evades. She does not. You get the headshot off. Go ahead and roll me some damage. A
Oh,
17.
nice.
Very nice. It's actually very important because, as you thought, her head is not as armored as the rest of her. So a full, removed for thematic purposes, a full amount of damage slams into her. And she is knocked silly by the hit of your bullets. The bullets still, shatter on impact, but you can tell that if she were a normal person, like even the force of the blow would probably give her a concussion. So I'm going to say she's got a modifier of some sort of wound at this point. Excellent. Anything else? Would you like to move? Do anything else?
I'm gonna move again. Another effect.
Okay.
Alright, that's my turn.
All right. On Ando's turn, Ando is actually going to rush over towards you, Shogun, because you have caught her ire. So she's going to rush over and attempt to melee attack you. So I need you to roll me evasion twice.
Alright.
A 9 and a 15. All right. So the first attack, 21, that definitely will hit you. The second attack, a 16, just hits you.
Ooh, I'm scared.
All right, so remember, this ignores half your armor, rounding up. And the first attack will do 16 damage. And the second attack will do 12 damage.
I have 11 armor.
Okay, so that means you ignore 6 of it.
Okay, so 10 and then 6, so 16 total.
Correct. And remember that you ablate per hit, so your armor would go down by 2 points.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Xavier, you've seen Shogun fire off, and then suddenly he's got a very angry woman in his face. What would you like to do about that?
Use it to my shotgun.
I see. A 16. Let's see if she evades. She does not. You blast her full on. 12 damage. Very nice. So, what you notice, though, is that with this next hit, is that her body armor is becoming more and more apparent. Like, it's definitely the case that she's got skin weave, and that you're slowly whittling away at her armor. But again, the probably best way to deal with her is either going to be melee or aiming for the head at this point. And would you like to move or do anything like that?
I'm going to move back towards the tables to kind of do the defensive position for the people.
All right.
I'll move like there.
Airbags, what are you doing?
Now, I forget if you can do held actions in this system.
I would say you could, as long as it's not like 50 part, like if they do this, but if they do this, etc., etc.
No, nothing like that. Airbags will sort of run over to the counter next to him.
Okay.
Sort of lean on the counter, steady himself, and aim for Ando, and just he'll wait for Shogun to disengage before he fires the headshot.
Okay. I would say that all you need to do is just tick the headshot modifier, and you could make the roll now. And as long as you don't crit fail, you will not hit Shogun.
Cool. I will do that then. That's 16.
Hasn't come through for me yet. There it is. All right, let's see what her evasion is. Yeah, she's not doing great, so go ahead and roll me some damage.
Now, I forget, do I need to take into consideration the extra damage, or does it handle that because I've got headshot checked?
It should handle the damage appropriately, yes.
Cool.
Let's see, an 11.
Unless I roll one.
Yeah. All right, so an 11 means you deal this much damage, and yeah, once again, her head sort of cocks to the side as the bullet hits her and sort of knocks her silly again. And you see, probably to your horror, Airbags, that she turns to you, blood dripping from underneath her hair across her face, and she says, "You're next."
Yeah, you will actually get an, "Oh, that should have worked" look.
Mm-hmm. And then Akari, what are you doing?
Well, it worked so well the last time. I'm going to try to shoot her again, and I'm going to add 2 points of luck.
Okay.
Yes. Do I want to do a heads? I mean, all the cool kids are doing it. Yeah, I'll do an aim shot for the head.
Okay, make sure to
Shotgun.
tick that.
Got it. 2 points of...
Wow, 24.
Yeah. 26.
Where are you getting 26 from?
2 points of luck.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, you hit her. An 18. Very, very nice. So it is at this point that...
Akari here is playing Resident Evil with the riot gun.
Yeah. Akari, with that shot, the Cyberpsycho Ando nearly goes down. It took probably all of her willpower to remain up. Maybe one more shot will put her down.
I'm just going to shout, "Shoot her now!" as loudly as
Shoot
possible.
her. All right, Enzo, would you like to try and get the kill shot?
No. Enzo's gonna run over to here.
Mm-hmm.
7, yeah. And try to grab her.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, let's hug the lady with the blades coming out of her arms.
Yep.
This sounds like a good plan.
So she can make a dex plus brawling or athletics.
I believe she's gonna opt for a brawling. Which if you look, I think she's rolled 5 ones.
Which is thematic considering she's dazed from a headshot.
Right, I think it's very interesting. But yeah, you definitely get a hold of her.
Okay, so that's 6. Yeah. So I moved 6 here. So I'm gonna move 1 over and finish my movement and drag her slightly away from Shogun.
Okay.
Half slamming her to the bar.
All right, and what is your intention? Are you trying to choke her out? Are you simply trying to keep her contained?
I'm trying to keep her contained right now. I might switch to choking next round, but that's all I can do.
Okay.
I have a quick question. Did the
All right.
police say to kill her, or
It
Yes.
was heavily implied that the police have already written her off, but if you do capture her alive, there is a thing for that.
Okay.
The police said we could kill her.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Basically, they just made it very clear there will be no bad consequences from their end for killing her.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, and top of the initiative order, I need everybody to do initiative, please. All right, so hers is an 11. All right, airbags goes down to a 10. Shogun, you go down to a 9. Xavier, you go to a 15. Enzo goes to a 13. Cool, everybody is updated. Sort by descending. Xavier, you are up next.
I'm gonna hold until I figure out what Enzo's doing.
Very nice. We will go to Enzo then. Enzo, what is your move here?
Don't think there's a prone run. I don't think there's like a pin per se. That's effectively what I'm doing. Just slamming Ando right against the bar and just kind of hitting them down.
Okay. Why don't we say that you can roll me in athletics for this?
Sounds
And
good.
we'll contest it with her athletics to see if she's able to do anything about it.
I should have put luck in that.
Oh, with a 23. I'm going to say that not only is she able to stop being slammed into something, but she is also able to get out of your grapple with that.
So I try to slam her into the bar, and she kind of like slides over the bar.
Mm-hmm. So she's now over here. All right. Akari, what would you like to do?
Well, I was content to let the non-lethal attempt work, but considering that she is once again showing initiative, I'm going to move up to the bar. So hopefully I don't get the obstructed penalty.
Nope.
Cool. And then I'm just going to unload into her. Not a
Alright.
headshot, just straight shot.
Straight shot. Okay.
Not
A
that
12.
real shot.
She dodges out of the way. Which, on her turn, means that she's going to look at Enzo, she's going to look at Akari, she's going to look at airbags, and she's not thinking very clearly, so she's going to mentally flip a random number. Akari, you're our lucky winner today. So, Akari, she dives over the bar at you, and I need you to roll me 2 evasions, please.
All right.
12 and a 15. Well, the 22 is definitely going to hit, as will the 19. So, Akari, you are going to be taking 15 and 19 damage. Remember to subtract
Okay.
your armor.
All right. So body, I'm assuming.
Yep, body, and remember, it does bleed through half rounding up.
Oh, melee attacks do that, huh? Oh,
Yep.
yes, they do. We talked about that earlier. Okay. Cool. That stings.
And at this point, Ando is just sort of cackling like a mad woman. She is probably lost whatever sanity she had remaining at this point. She is literally a caged beast trying to do her best to take as many people with her as possible.
Seeing this, can I do my action now and move
You
and
certainly
shoot?
may, yes.
I'm gonna move to like there and fire at the head.
All right. Remember to tick that headshot and go ahead and open fire. 13. Let's see what she gets. Yeah, even though you waited for the perfect opportunity, it seems that she's still just too fast for you and just dodges out of the way of your bullets. Which brings us, I believe, to airbags. Airbags, what do you got going on?
I think airbags is gonna try for the melee approach, see if that sort of wears her down faster.
Okay.
He's going to flick out the ripper claws, and I don't think you can really do headshots with melee, can you?
I think you still can.
Okay. Well, that'll work, because basically what he's doing is he's aiming for like the back of the neck region and trying to catch electronic interfaces and tear them out.
Okay, sure. We can roll with that. Make sure to roll with the headshot modifier.
Mm-hmm. And because it's melee with rippers, it'll be 2 attacks in rapid succession.
Correct.
So that's an 11
Okay.
and a 13.
11 and a 13. Let's see what she gets. Because I believe I can roll either evade. Yep, I'm rolling evasion for her. So the first one dodges out of the way.
So this-
Second one also dodges out of the way,
Also.
unfortunately. All right, and
So
Shogun.
we're having sort of a duel between claws and one of the scythe arms, I'd imagine.
Yeah, like she bats it out of the way or just barely brushes it aside, that sort of thing.
All right. So I move 5 units, and then I'm gonna do a called shot to the head.
All right.
Yes, please do. I'm almost dead here, so... Or I'm almost at 0.
All right. So I'm gonna make a attack.
Ooh,
Oh,
a 7.
it's
I'm
fine.
going to say that she doesn't even need to roll with a 7. It doesn't even meet the original DV.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, your shot goes wide. Again, luckily it does not hit anyone important. Well, really anyone at all, but it does go wide. All right.
Okay. That's gonna be my turn.
All right, so top of the order. We get to roll initiative once more.
Now, where's my fatally wounded?
For you, you would like to check the serious wounds damage level.
Yeah. Right, because I am 1 above my death saves.
Mhm.
So yeah. Cool.
15.
Oh, there's 11 again.
Alright, so airbags goes up to a 16. Shogun goes to a 10. Akari goes to an 11. Enzo's a 15. Yep, everyone is done. Alright, so airbags, would you like to try again with your claws?
Yes, and this time he's just going to go for body shots.
Alrighty.
Just try and land any hits.
20 and a 5. Wow. Alright, well, let's see if the first one
that
hits.
first one hits at least.
A 13. Alright, roll me damage on this.
6.
Alright, how would you like to do this?
Okay, so basically, sort of, we're dueling at one end while she's going after Akari, and then I'd imagine she's about to finish Akari off,
Mm-hmm.
and Airbag sort of sees it and goes, oh, nope, and actually just sort of gets his arm in the way so that it like gets briefly caught in the blade, but then that brings him in close enough that he can then twist the claws around and just sink them directly into her chest.
Okay. And as your claws sink into her chest, she coughs up some blood and sort of smiles and says, "Thank you." And then she expires. She is dead. And the bar goes quiet.
Alright, so Airbags will sort of lower the body down and sort of detach the claws and like flick them to get as much of the blood off as possible.
Mhm.
Is there a towel under the bar or something?
Yeah, the bartender, like, with a shaking hand, like, here.
Thanks
I
so
would
much,
like-
mate. And he
I-
cleans the claws off.
I'd like as many
Probably
bandages
tears
as you
the
have.
towel to ribbons in the meantime.
Yeah. I've got, like, a few bandages, but I don't know that I've got anything to treat your stuff there, lady.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just sit here and wait for the police to arrive. And I'm just going to slump unconscious because it seems thematic.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk over and see if I can free the people who are bound and held prisoner.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I'm
walk
gonna
over
reload
and
my
see if I can
pistol. Oh,
Deal with Akari.
Okay. Yeah,
I
because
reload my pistol and then walk.
walk over there. All right. Didn't you take what is it?
16. Yeah.
First
Yeah,
aid.
first aid.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you want to roll a first aid on her.
I'll walk over there and first aid.
Congratulations, you've just killed me. Congratulations.
No, I don't think it's quite that bad. But suffice to say, you definitely do not make Akari's situation any better.
I'll just say that the damage is too severe for me to be able to do with what the limited materials I have.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And as all of you deal with your separate actions, you hear the sound of sirens getting louder, and after about 2 minutes, police begin storming into the building. Like, they immediately come rushing in and yell for everyone to get down, drop your weapons, etc., etc. Is anyone not doing that?
I won't, and I show them the badge.
Okay.
Yeah. I flash my back.
Airbags doesn't think to show them the badge. He just sort of like stays still and doesn't make sudden moves.
Okay. So
Hands
the
up, badge in hand.
Okay, badge in hand. So these two go over here. These two come over to you all. They say, "All right, I'm going to need you to step back from the body." Who was it? Who took her down?
Yeah. And Airbags will sort of raise the hand without the claws on it.
All right. And it's right about then that Chief Rio herself walks in, takes an assessment of the situation, and says, well, guess it's probably overkill that I had a missile launcher brought just in case I needed to bail you out of trouble. And, she walks over to the body and sort of kicks it and says, damn shame. We probably could have dealt with her a lot sooner had we known she was here. I believe this, and she looks around at the bar. Looks about another 10, 15 deaths. Great. That's going to be a lot of paperwork, but more to the point, your friend there, Akari, I believe it was, she needs medical treatment, yes?
Yes.
Very much so.
Wonderful.
Definitely.
You, and she points at one of the officers, you, go outside, get an ambulance over here as soon as possible. And, of course, the gentleman says, of course, ma'am. And he steps over here and begins making those calls. Meanwhile, Enzo, you've sort of unhostaged. Yeah, that's a verb. Unhostaged the hostages at this point, and the police are doing their best to either console or escort them out of the area. And while that's all going on, with Shogun, Xavier, and Airbags, the chief has pulled out another cigarette and begun smoking it and says, right, well, you dealt with her, so your first part of the contract is complete. You will be getting a substantial sum for this one's deceasement, also verb, deal with it. However, considering that you're all still living and I'm not seeing any dead hostages, I'm willing to make you a job offer.
I raise one eyebrow.
What's
What
this
would that
offer?
be?
Well, as you can probably tell, the Psyche division is a little short-staffed at the moment. We could use individuals such as yourselves that are, shall we say, skilled in dealing with cyberpsychos. Basically, this was a resume builder, and congrats, you now have the qualifications to join if you so wish.
I look to the others.
I ask, would this be official or be like under the books, kind of contact us as one gets away kind of thing?
Oh, it would be very official. You would become actual members of the TMPD, but you would be under the Psyche division and thus my leadership. You don't have to give me an answer now. And she pulls out a card or goes over to Airbags and tucks it into his shirt pocket. Give me a call when you've got an answer for me. In the meantime, take your friend, get her out to that ambulance, see to your health, and I don't mean this in a... Oh, go ahead.
And our payment for today?
Your payment, I will have it wired immediately.
Airbags will just sort of quietly help Akari out towards the road.
Okay. So we're going to have
with a very sort of serious sort of thinking look on his face.
So we're going to have a small time skip here where we're going to meet back in the common room. This is maybe probably about 6 to 7 hours later, or perhaps the next day. All of you are just sort of meeting in the conference room to decide, where do we go from here? And Akari, you have been patched up. It's probably going to be a couple weeks before you're at full fighting form. Enzo, you've also received medical treatment. Your wounds were much easier to treat, but Akari is definitely down for about a week and a half.
I have some fantastic new scars
Mm-hmm.
to add to my already extensive collection of fantastic scars.
I'm on a liquid diet. Yay.
Would I be healed up as well?
Yeah, you are sort of like Enzo. Your injuries were treatable, but obviously not as bad as Akari's.
Definitely. Okay.
You're on a liquid diet, Akari?
Apparently, she nearly nicked several intestinal areas. So, yeah, I need time to process before I can process proper food without it coming out of unintended holes.
Well, then it is a good thing sake is a liquid, as I pour 5 glasses of sake.
Alright. I would drink sake.
Just raise the glass up to those we could not save.
And Max
Alright,
will sort of
Michael,
like automatically raise the glass and then just sort of absentmindedly swirl it without actually drinking.
Oh, I'm downing it.
Yeah, I drink it pretty fast too.
So refills 4 of the cups.
So, was this? You guys weren't joking when you said that they were offering us a job, right?
No joke.
No, they were serious.
I thought they would be joking at first, but I don't know.
I mean, I take it. I have other reasons, of course. But yes, I want to get in.
It would mean that we don't have to go searching for jobs. We would constantly have employment.
Of course, half my customer base will immediately vanish, but at least I'll get actual payment. Does this mean I'm going to have to start paying taxes again? Oh.
Hope not. So I kind of like look around the room. I was like, I don't know. It's up to you guys. I'm the new guy here, so have much.
You're just as much part of us as any other individual member here.
I don't know. Spent most of the last year trying to distance myself from the cops.
I nod to that.
I was of a little bit of sympathy for those with psychosis. I'm down several major body parts. But working to bring them in, at least I know I'd have the opportunity of trying to take them along, unlike some other more trigger-happy individuals. Not referencing anyone here. Pros and cons.
Yeah, pros. The cops have a good information network. I would get better armor, and I sort of smirk to myself. Cons are, of course, we'd be tracked most likely 24/7. We'd have most of the underworld that would hate us by default. And I sort of absent-mindedly nod towards Shogun. Your friends might not be too happy.
I shake my head.
We'd almost certainly
Definitely
lose
would
our
not.
contacts with the purple pumas.
Almost
Yes.
certainly.
But on the plus side, and I sort of look at airbags, you've always wanted to fly one of those gyros, haven't you?
Alex will sort of like shrug and go, I mean, I guess, but really I've been hoping that one day I could head back on the Nomad trains one day, and I mean, given my past, no way that'll happen if I take a job with the police.
I'm kind of abrasive to the idea, but I'm open-minded to it as well. Or apprehensive, I should say. That's the word.
Out of character, we could probably do something where like some of us do, some of us don't, and then that creates a weird party dynamic.
Yeah, I would certainly be down for that. It would obviously be easier if you all were, going for it or said no or, had a unanimous decision. But if you want to like split the party and do it that way, we can certainly work with that.
I wonder if we could do it
Because,
freelance, contract by contract basis.
Well, if we did it, part of the party did, part of the party did not, then the people who are involved can still get information from the underground on where people that escape go.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yeah, like if we have like sort of like a
network.
handshake agreement where like a couple of the people are
Our
the ones
official
who
members
are on the official payroll, and
Okay.
then they sort of, and then we just sort of unofficially get a cut of their pay.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I think we could work
So,
with
like,
that.
Less money overall, but lets us sort of have our cake and eat it too.
So it would sort of be like an undercover cop thing where you all are technically Psyche Div, but they don't actually, like, only like one or two or a couple of you, you know, actually carry the full badge. The rest of
Like,
you just are sort of temps.
One or two of us are the ones who get called in for the assignments, and then after they've been called in, they then go and call us up and let us know.
Okay. Yeah, we can work with that.
One of us actually has the desk job.
Yeah, that's the downside.
Yep.
One of you at least would have the desk job.
Which of us is good with paperwork?
I'll volunteer.
All right. Any
Like,
other
who is-
takers?
I'll join.
Steady work.
Okay. And then Enzo, I think you were on board as well. So that leaves Airbags and Shogun. You are abstaining at the moment, yes?
I'm abstaining, yes.
Correct.
Correct. Awesome. So, that is the end of the Cyberpsychosis episode of Tokyo Red. And next week we will deal with the quote-unquote onboarding process with some of you joining the Psyche division. So, of course, players, stick around for a little bit longer, but this is where I'm cutting off the Twitch stream. So, Twitch, YouTube, etc., 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 etc. Thank you so much for watching, and see you later, stream. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.